All right, Bears fans, before we jump into today's mailbag video, join us on Christmas Eve as we will still be live for a Bears versus Bills Christmas Eve watch party. We will be live here on YouTube at 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central Time with a pregame show, and then the watch party will really begin at noon as kickoff will take place at Soldier Field. So hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and join us this Christmas Eve. Welcome into Bears Now. I am Harrison Graham, and on today's show, we are going to answer all of your questions here on the channel. So use hashtag Bears or Super Chat to get your questions on the show, and let's have a good time here. Vibin, appreciate the Super Chat. If Cody can't play, do we try Tyree Carter or Dieter Eiselen? You know what I would try? I would try Leatherwood at guard, because I still think his physical traits are better suited as a guard. I think speed rushers just give him trouble. That was on display this weekend, but I'd like to see him in there and, potentially try that. Maybe Larry Borum at guard too. Now, I'm down to try Tyree Carter. I don't think Dieter Eiselen is a long-term piece. He's been in the Bears organization for 3 years. I think he's a backup. Like, I think we know that. Like, 2 different regimes have evaluated him now. So Carter, he's a guy to give a look. He's been inactive every single game this year. Do you try Leatherwood inside? We'll see what happens this Sunday, because it'll depend on as well. If Tevin Jenkins plays, then you could just be Michael Schofield at left guard. From Larry Rosen, why haven't the coaches given Isaiah Coulter a chance? He had an excellent preseason. I mean, they briefly put him on the active roster, but I don't think he's that good. I mean, preseason's preseason. He was going up mostly against backups. Now, what I will say is it's not like these receivers that have had chances have done a lot with them, right? I mean, I think guys have had moments, of course. But, I think it really just goes to show larger picture that outside of Darnell Mooney and hopefully Chase Claypool, if he ends up panning out, you need more talent at receiver. There's no doubt about that. Jeff Wilson, do you want Justin Fields to break Lamar Jackson's single-season QB rushing record? Well, you look at Justin Fields having 1,000 yards on the year, and that's missing a game against the Jets. So, the whole, he gets an extra game, that kind of worked itself out. So if he breaks it, I do think it's a legitimate record in my opinion, because when Lamar had it, it was a 16-game season, but Fields is only going to play 16 games here. He said the other day that he's gotten this far, might as well break it now. 206 yards to go to tie it, 207 to break it, about 70 a game. I'd like to see him do it in a season that's not going to be defined by wins and losses. Why not get a personal record for the franchise? I think that'd be pretty cool. Be cool for Justin, and would give you even more energy and juice heading into the offseason. Now, will Fields break Lamar's rushing record of 1,206 yards? What do you guys think? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I think he's got a chance, and especially with this snow game or potential snow game this weekend, the Bears probably going to be running the football a lot, and Justin Fields could be hard to bring down in a game in this environment. So Y for yes, N for no. Let me know what you guys think. Emiliano Brito, Graham, is Tevin okay? It sounds like he is. Eberflus called him day-to-day. He's back in the building. He was actually a limited participant on Tuesday. So even if he doesn't play this weekend, which we'll see, it sounds like they've avoided a major issue here, which is very, very good. Who knows what happened that forced him to get carted off. Obviously, when it's a neck deal, always proceed with caution. They went to the hospital, did the testing. Sounds like he's feeling a lot better. So that's good. I think he's going to be okay here, which is a very, very positive thing for him and the Bears. Vibin, he says, this Bears team reminds me of the Lions last season. They were in every game last season, only won 3 games. Drafted a game changer in Hutchinson. Drafted well in the later rounds. Bears could definitely have the same trajectory if Poles can draft. I think the Bears could have a higher ceiling, because I think Fields is more of a game changer at quarterback than Jared Goff, although Goff has been pretty solid this year. He deserves credit for how he's played. I think it's a good take. I think it's very valid. Now, I think the Bears should have higher expectations next year than being 7-7 through 14 games. But the way the Lions are playing now, starting 1-6, I mean, that's that's kind of the trajectory of better than a 500 team. So, yeah, I think they're a good example. I think obviously the better and bigger examples are kind of how Buffalo and Philadelphia have built their things around a young quarterback with patience and pieces around him. So we'll see. I mean, I've said it for a few weeks. I'll say it again. The 2023 offseason is the biggest offseason in the history of the Chicago Bears. Samoan Mike, next season do we win the NFC North? I think it's wide open. Minnesota's had kind of this magical year. They're kind of the Vikings have kind of been the opposite of the Bears, right? Where they win all their close games. The Bears lose all their close games. Now, I'm not sitting here and saying the Bears are very close to the Vikings, but I don't think they're massively far off. I think a big offseason and Minnesota kind of falling back to the mean here with, results in close games, I think there's a chance the Bears could surpass Minnesota. I think Detroit is going to be a factor. Who knows where Green Bay will be? I think it's truly going to be a situation where you enter next season and all four teams are going to talk themselves into saying, yeah, we could win the NFC North, and I think the Bears should have that same mindset, and considering how much money and draft stuff they're going to be able to have at their disposal over the next few months. Now, today's show is sponsored by our friends over at BetUS. If you want to go bet on Saturday's game against the Bills, BetUS is the place to do it. Go to chatsports.com/Bears. Use our promo code BEARDOWN to get a 125% deposit bonus, $100 down, give you $125 for free, and make some money with BetUS. Odds for this Saturday's game, Bills 10-point favorites, over under 40.5 points. Pretty tough weather conditions with wind chill. Temperatures expected to be below 0 degrees. So get your hand warmers out. I think the Bears actually have a good chance of covering it in those conditions. I think they can run the football and hang around in this one. Chatsports.com/Bears. Promo code is BEARDOWN. Alex Hernandez, how far down would you be comfortable trading to? It really depends on the offer. I mean, if you're getting a future first-round pick, not just like say a team's trading up to 2 or 3, and they're giving you their first-round pick this year and next year, if I'm still in the top 10, I'd be okay with that while also getting, like a day 2 pick or something like that. So I think it really just depends. I think if you're Ryan Poles, you can hold the chips, right? If you don't like the offer, if you don't think it's enough, then you just take the best player available. But, I'd trade down to, the latter part of the top 10. I'd be comfortable with that. Peloton, would you rather draft Chase Brown or Blake Corum? It really just depends, as we do have breaking Corum news. We're filming this on Tuesday. Producer Jack, who's our Michigan producer for our Michigan channel, has news on Blake Corum.
Corum just did an interview with Adam Schefter and says that he is 50-50 on whether or not he's going to go pro or return to Michigan for next season.
Okay, so there you go. Blake Corum could return to Michigan, but if he does turn pro, which I still think he will, I think coming back would not be the right move. But I don't know. It really just depends. Chase Brown, more of that physical kind of downhill runner. Corum's got, a little bit more burst, a little more undersized. So I'd be fine either way, though. I think third, 4th round of, a guy that if you were to lose a David Montgomery, you pair one of these guys with Khalil Herbert, and you got a pretty solid 1-2 punch. Keem says, what's up, HG? What's up, King? With the Bears' poor record, should we have an easier 2023 schedule? We should, he says. How likely is it that we can flip this record? I mean, completely flip it, be 11-3 through 14, that probably seems unlikely. But, I came into this year, and, I probably had my optimistic hat on. I think I had the Bears going 9-8, but on paper, their schedule was very easy. It turned out to be a lot harder than it was, which is why, the on-paper schedule projections, you just never know how it's going to play out. Ended up being a lot harder, and look, was I off? Yeah, there's no doubt about it, but Bears ended up trading off more assets that we didn't know about, and they've been in a lot of games. They have 7 one-score losses. If you win 4 of those 7, you're a 7-7 team right now. You're in the playoff hunt. So, they just got, these coin flip games that they've had, they haven't won any of them. The only coin flip game they've won was the Texans game, and I don't even count the Niners game because that was in an absolute downpour. That was such a fluky deal. I think it's possible next year that with the right pieces, they can start to win these type of games and be, a 9-10, maybe even 11-win team if they get the right pieces. Alan Mack, would you try out Cody Whitehair back at center? I just think the positional moving him around has played its course at this point. He looks slow and not as strong anymore. He might be done, man. Like, I think his best days are behind him. I mean, he's not super old, but he looks like an older offensive lineman. I mean, Cody Whitehair, how old is he now? He is 30 years old. He'll be 31 in July. That's not super old, but we saw guys like Kyle Long, just kind of flame out quickly with injuries. Cody Whitehair might be at that point, It sucks, but, I think the best of Cody Whitehair has kind of come and gone. Doesn't mean he's not going to be back, but I don't think that assuming moving him to center is just going to make him a great player again. Can I get a bear down in the comments? Come on. Light it up. Get the bear downs going down in the comments below. And let's make this happen here. Emiliano, $5 super chat. Bears trade number 2 and number 129. Panthers trade 8, 39, 103. A first in 2024. A fourth. I don't care about the 7th. Thoughts? Well, I'll try to simplify it here. So I'm not even going to worry about 129 that much. Trade down from 2 to 8. Pick up 8, obviously. 39, 103, and a first and a fourth next year. That's a pretty good offer. Like, I would consider that. Like, that's a good trade where, you move down 6 slots and you're not going to get Will Anderson or Jalen Carter, but maybe you still get Miles Murphy, or maybe you draft Paris Johnston Jr. or Quentin Johnston or something like that. Oh, 2025 first as well. I would really consider it at that point. I mean, if you're getting 3 firsts out of it. So, yeah, and here's the deal. Teams are going to be desperate. If you get a top 2 pick, teams are going to come calling for C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Will Levis, whoever does not go number 1 overall. So, buckle up. I mean, the Bears are going to have some options. There's no doubt about it. Subscribe to the channel because the offseason coverage is going to be lit. I mean, that's just a fact. I mean, I'll be honest. Don't get me wrong. I want to watch Justin Fields play 3 more times, but I'm ready for the offseason. Like, the offseason for the Bears, the hype is going to be real. The hype is going to be real, and it's up to Ryan Poles to deliver. We know we're going to deliver by bringing you the best content possible, and that's why you should subscribe. It's 100% free.